Both teams apparently peaking at the right time, and all that stuff about how they got here goes out the window. Dan, the important thing is they're here.
No doubt about it. Thank you very much, Jim. And very quickly, JC, Jarrett Morris not playing, and we touched upon this a little bit earlier in our open. How does that affect Blue Springs?
Well, it's definitely going to affect their running game. He was their leading rusher by far. Stinson Dean is going to have to carry the ball a lot more and try to pick up the load in the rushing game for Blue Springs.
We are set to go. Class 6 state championship here in the state of Missouri. It comes your way next on Fox Sports Net. Crowd on hand, and welcome back to the Edward Jones Dome in downtown St. Louis. And this will be the coin toss to decide who gets the ball first.
Great. Coaches, you're excused. Thank you.
Kelly, good luck, buddy.
Blue Springs in the white, the blue trim. Hazelwood Central out of St. Louis with the gold and black uniforms.
Who's going to make the call? Okay, give me your choice and I'll flip it. He called heads. That is the tails. Hazelwood, you've won the toss. What do you want to do? You want to receive. Okay, they're going to receive. It means you got to kick. Which way do you want to kick?
I'll kick this way.
Okay, put your back to that goal, please. Put your back to this goal. Hazelwood wins the toss. We'll receive. Guys, let's go.
So Hazelwood Central has won the toss in the Class 6 Misha Show Me Bowl. They have elected to receive and go on offense and try to strike first against Blue Springs. There's a look at the head coach for Blue Springs. He has been here before in this dome, Kelly Donahoe, and what a job he has done. They are ranked in the top 25 in the country of high school rankings. They are undefeated in the state of Missouri with a record of 12-0. So Kelly Donahoe will go head-to-head with Hazelwood Central. Central is led by John Bacala. He is out of Northwest Missouri State, a graduate of 1986. 5 years as the head coach. He's had a record of 34-18. So Blue Springs will go on defense first, and this is one of the top defensive teams in all of the state of Missouri, JC, if not the best defensive team.
And that's why I'm surprised that Hazelwood Central elected to receive the ball after winning the toss. Most teams would defer it so that they'd have the option coming out of the locker room at halftime. Obviously, they've got a lot of confidence in their offense by taking it here in the beginning of the ball game.
Well, the Hawks have averaged over 38 points in 5 straight games. That's how prolific this offense has been. 38 points in 5 straight games, capped off by a 59-21 win over Lindbergh to get to the state championship game. If you break it down even further, season-wide now, they are averaging 360 yards per game on offense.
Well, they are really rolling on offense right now. They started off the season a little slowly. They had to get their offensive line intact, had a lot of injuries, had to make some changes, but they've really come on, in particular, the last 6 weeks of the season.
Marcelo Velasquez will kick things off. He wears number 92 for Blue Springs. And both these teams, by the way, have very good kicking games if it would be decided by a kick or two. Back deep to receive is Hazelwood Central. A.J. Jimerson, he wears number 11. He's a very, very good kick returner. Looks like he's going to get the football. He fields it inside his own 5. He is the top rusher for Hazelwood Central. Gets it out across the 20, and that's where Central will start. The Hawks with a record of 9-3 out of the Suburban North Conference here in St. Louis. A return of 18 yards. And here comes that highly touted offense of Hazelwood Central, led by a senior quarterback, Bobby DeMolin. 26 touchdowns on the season, over 2,200 yards. Our starting lineups are brought to you by Chrysler. DeMolin, by the way, first year ever at the helm of this offense. Offensive line, not very big, but all seniors. Senior-laden offensive line. And we talked about A.J. Jimerson. He wears number 11. Watch out for him. One of the top backs in the state, along with James Aldridge, only a sophomore. Jimerson, a little motion in the backfield. Aldridge gets it. They fake the reverse. Aldridge has a block. He's across the 30. And a first down on the first play, and a big, big pickup for Hazelwood Central of 14 yards.
James Aldridge, a guy with a lot of speed. They fake the reverse right here. Blue Springs just bites on it just a bit, and Aldridge almost gets out of the gate on the opening play.
James Aldridge, 6 foot, 200-pound sophomore. And something that's interesting when you watch the Hawks, you will see the quarterback, Bobby DeMolin. JC, he'll come up, review the defense, and basically call the plays at the line of scrimmage. You hear about audibles all the time in the pro game and college game, but not so much when you're talking about high school football. Great defensive play. It is strung out in there, was one of the top defensive players in the state. Sean Sharkey. Also in there was Zach Cunningham. They are big up front. Number 56, Matt McLean, bench presses 450 pounds. He's one of the strongest kids in the state of Missouri. The linebacking core is led by Sean Sharkey. He leads a team in tackles. He is the captain of this defense, 98 tackles on the season. And we just saw number 11, Zach Cunningham, 61 tackles, leads their club in interceptions with 6 on the season. A second down play, and they want to throw the football across the middle, had a man open, and misses the tight end. That was Kazim Ali. Little behind him there, and it brings up a third down.
And they're going to get a lot of man coverage from Blue Springs because Blue Springs they're going to blitz about 70% of the time. They don't think that DeMolin can handle a lot of pressure. And watching film, they said that he didn't get a lot of pressure all year, so they're anxious to see how he reacts to it.
This is a Hazelwood Central club that was ranked number 8 in the state to start the season, then dropped 2 of 3. Now they have won 6 straight, and here they are in the state championship game. DeMolin will work out of the shotgun. One man in the backfield. Good speed out wide left. Wants to throw, lofts it for his big tight end. He brings it in. Ali inside the 40, and a first down for Central. Kazim Ali, 6'4", 215-pound junior. And they talk about him being one of the best athletes on this team.
And when you get a team that blitzes a lot and you know you're going to get man coverage, you can see the blitz coming from the inside. DeMolin just throws that ball up, and Kazim Ali makes a great play. 6'4", like you said, he's a great athlete, plays basketball, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities tonight to make some big plays.
JC, that 6'4", going up against 5'11" for that free ball. Then Kazim Ali pulls it down. Out of the shotgun again. They swing it out wide right. They have another man close to another first down and close to inside the 25. Abe Quad, the second leading receiver, and a pickup of 11 for Hazelwood Central. They look sharp early on.
They do, and they're going to throw this ball quick a lot of the times. See where they can get a matchup, and look for them to go after number 23, Joey Butler, who's not normally a starter out there at cornerback. He's replacing Jarrett Morris, the running back that was suspended. But in suspending Morris, they lose 2 players, a running back and a starting corner.
This drive started on the 22 of Hazelwood Central. And it's a 1st and 10, ball resting on the 25. And the handoff to the first man through, A.J. Jimerson. Not much there. Maybe lost a yard on that play. Going to bring up a long second down for Hazelwood Central.
Blue Springs, they put their best 11 athletes on this defense, and they've been dominant all year long. They've had some tough games. They've lined up against Oak Park. They played Rockhurst twice. They played Blue Springs South. They've been able to hang tough all year. They only give up about 11 points a game.
2nd down and 10 for the Hawks. 3 wide receivers to the right side. Hand off to Jimerson up the middle, and a good play made by the interior line. In there was Chaz Bowles, one of the linebackers for Blue Springs, a pickup of 4 on the play, so 3rd down and 6. Well, you mentioned that Kelly Donahoe, the head coach for Blue Springs, best 11 start on defense, and then he says after that we'll figure out the offense, but we want the best defensive players on the field every single minute of the game.
You know, that's that old adage that defense wins championships. If you can stop a team from scoring, they feel like they can put points on the board.
DeMolin with pressure. He's sacked and brought down at the 28. Kyle Crandell was in there along with Cody Arrington, the twin brother of linebacker Corey Arrington, who, by the way, is suspended for this game as well.
And that's what they do. You can see Crandell comes off the corner, and he's unblocked. They've got also McLean coming up the middle. They're going to bring heat on this guy, DeMolin, as much as possible.
The longest field goal of the season for Hazelwood Central was 40 yards. And it looks like they are going to go for it here on 4th down. 4th and 12 with the ball on the 27. We mentioned that this drive started on their own 22. First possession of the game. One to set up a screen. Now they have man coverage, and it's incomplete. And Blue Springs will have their first crack at it on offense. But we have a flag on the play, and it's a holding against Hazelwood Central, so Blue Springs declines, and they'll get it 1st and 10. With 7:57 to play here in our first quarter. Not a bad drive, but I'm sure if you're Hazelwood Central, you want to try to finish that out. They had the momentum in their first drive, couldn't do so. 7:57 to play, first quarter. When we come back, Blue Springs will get the ball. Kelly Donahoe and Blue Springs, their first possession of the ball game. Interesting here in that first drive for Hazelwood Central. We mentioned that the longest field goal that they had, 40 yards this season, would have been about a 42, 43-yard field goal. They decided to go for it on 4th and 12, did not convert. And now it's Blue Springs, their chance. And a pitch out wide left. They pick up the first down and then some. They may pick up a touchdown. Harms going all the way. Touchdown on the first play of the game for Blue Springs offensively. 73 yards. Cameron Harms. No flags on the play.
And what a way to start the ball game for Blue Springs. They come out on the very first play and they run an option to the short side of the field, and they get Harms to the corner. And Harms has got good speed. He doesn't have great speed, but there was just nobody out there, and he just took it all the way to the house.
Cameron Harms, his 4th touchdown of the season. One play, 12 seconds, 73 yards. And 6-0 Blue Springs, as they jump out on top on their first play offensively. Cameron Harms, 73 yards. The extra point is up and good, and it's 7-0. Blue Springs.
And watch the option that's going to go left, but there's nobody outside. And you can see there's a great block downfield by the wide receiver, and now it's just a foot race, a missed tackle, and Harms takes it all the way. And Coach Donahoe said, hey, he steps up every time we ask him to. I wouldn't be surprised if he gains 100 yards tomorrow night, and he gains 73 on one play. You can see the pitch right here, great block downfield by the wide receivers. Harms breaks one tackle right there, and now he's untouched all the way to the end zone.
And we mentioned that Jared Morris has been suspended, the leading rusher, 3rd leading receiver for Blue Springs. So guys like Harms and Chris Bennett, another tailback for Blue Springs, really have to step up. And well, there you go, first play, 73 yards and a touchdown.
You can't step up any more than that. Jared Morris or not, no one could have done any better than Harms did on that play. So
Blue Springs will kick it off, and they have a lead of 7-0 with 7:44 to go in our first quarter of play. Marcelo Velasquez will kick things off, and a deep kick here. And whistles and a touchback. So Hazelwood Central will get it on the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. The Misha would like to congratulate these schools as the 2003-04 Leadership Award winners. These schools have developed school and community-wide plans of action addressing sportsmanship, respect, and citizenship, and are among the state's leaders in these areas. Congratulations, Blue Springs, Lawson, Lee Summit, Center, Excelsior Springs, Lindbergh, Platte County, Glasgow, Holden, Van Buren, Warren County, Kickapoo, and Lathrop. Congratulations. Ball on the 20, 1st and 10 for Hazelwood Central, and a pickup of maybe one on the play. So if you're Hazelwood Central, what do you go back with after having some kind of success in that first drive, JC?
Well, they had a couple big plays, one on the run, and then they came back with the big play down the field to Kazim Ali. They've got to try to make some big plays when they get Blue Springs blitzing and playing man coverage.
Bobby DeMolin, their quarterback, 26 touchdowns and over 2,200 yards on the season. Only threw 8 interceptions. They did have success in their first drive out of the shotgun. DeMolin standing on his own 15. Flags are flying, and the play is whistled dead with under 7 minutes to go, first quarter. That's a false start against the Hawks. It'll bring up a long 2nd down. 2nd down and 15 now for Hazelwood Central.
And that's what they can't afford to do, Dan, is shoot themselves in the foot by a lot of penalties, because when you've got long yardage, it's going to take your quarterback longer to throw the ball, and that plays right into Blue Springs' hands.
DeMolin under center with 2 men in the backfield. They want to set up a screen left side, and they do so to A.J. Jimerson. Heck of a play, though, defensively made by Chaz Bowles, a 5'10" junior linebacker. 2nd on the team in tackles with 68 coming into this ball game.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Chaz Bowles doesn't make this play, as we can see, Jimerson right here setting up the screen, and it looks like he's got a lot of room outside, but Chaz Bowles does a great job fighting through the blocker and getting Jimerson down. Jimerson's a 4-3-7 guy. They just want to try to get him to the perimeter. Chaz Bowles comes up with a big play on defense.
Big third down, 3rd and 13. Nobody in the backfield with the exception of the quarterback. Little middle screen, they try to set it up, may have been deflected at the line of scrimmage, and the Hawks will have to punt it away.
And that's that pressure that Blue Springs is going to bring. They're not going to give him a lot of time to throw. They're trying to throw that quick slip screen outside, but the ball was deflected because of the pressure. They don't even complete the pass.
Brian Harris will kick it away for Hazelwood Central, standing inside his own 5. The deep snapper is Brian Vaughn. Harris had 35 punts this season with an average of 36. Kevin Z is back deep to receive. Standing on his own 42. It takes a central bounce, and Z is knocked out of bounds, and that's where Blue Springs will take over 1st and 10 with a lead of 7-0. This week, Fox Springs takes over. This will only be their 2nd play offensively, and now a flag flies with 5:52 to go in our 1st quarter. They had 1 play, 12 seconds, 73-yard touchdown run by Cameron Harms. Illegal substitution looks like it might be the call. You rarely see that.
You do, especially in high school football. They had 12 guys in the huddle.
And that's what happened. So it'll be a 1st down and 15. Kelly Donahoe saying, pay attention down there. Let's go. There's Stenson Dean, the 6'2 senior quarterback, over 1,700 yards this season. They put a man in motion, hand it off to the man with the touchdown tonight, Cameron Harms, and he picks up maybe 2 on the play. Let's take a look at the offense. We didn't have enough time to take a look at this offense, as they are led by Stenson Dean, the quarterback, over 1,700 yards. This is brought to you by Chrysler. Their offensive line is huge. They go 280, 250, 230, 320, and 250. A senior laid line up front, and the specialty positions very good for Blue Springs. But we did mention that their leading rusher and 3rd leading receiver out of this ball game. They put a man in motion. They want to throw the football. Dean looking, has time, looks deep. Coverage is there, almost picked off. Instead, it's another touchdown. Flags on the play. It's picked up by Justin Brown. A touchdown is singled. 62 yards if it stands. And what an athletic play by the 6'2 senior Justin Brown.
And he's got a lot of big play ability. Coach Donahoe says this guy just exudes confidence. He brings it into the huddle, and everybody just feeds off of it. You can see there's pass interference on Hazelwood Central. So that's another touchdown for Blue Springs.
So 3 plays offensively and 2 touchdowns for Blue Springs. That is Brown's 5th touchdown this season, most by any receiver. With the Wildcats. Blue Springs will show a swinging gait sometimes on extra points. Marcelo Velasquez is the kicker, has a soccer background, wears number 92 for Blue Springs, and trying to make this 14-0. And he will be attempting his 39th PAT. So they had 1 play for 73 yards. This play 62 yards. And there's 2 plays, 44 seconds on that drive. They fake the extra point. They have a man open. Trying to go for the 2, and they're going to get it. He's into the end zone.
And that looked like a designed play.
Luke Whitworth, the tight end.
The snap was good, the hold was good, and they just called a designed play, a fake field goal.
And Stenson Dean is the holder. And they find the big tight end, who will be the quarterback, by the way, next year for Blue Springs. That is Luke Whitworth.
And you can see it's a good snap. Stinson Dean just never puts it down. This is a designed fake field goal, fake extra point, and then Stinson Dean uses his feet, finds Luke Whitworth for a 2-point conversion. How about that?
15-0 Blue Springs, and here's a look at the touchdown.
You can see just a bootleg right here. He's looking for Hill across the middle, but then Justin Brown just keeps running down the field. And look at that concentration on the ball. After getting interfered with, he juggles it, he bobbles it, still concentrates on the ball and comes up with another huge play for Blue Springs.
Central takes it at their 5. Nowhere to go. Out across the 16 is Rahman. And it's 15-0 Blue Springs on top with 5:01 to go here in our first quarter. One play by that man. On the first play offensively for Blue Springs, Cameron Harms made it 6-0. 73-yard run. And Blue Springs comes back with another huge play from Justin Brown, a 62-yard touchdown reception. Then they go for a 2-point conversion. They get that, and it's 15-0. And Hazelwood Central was in a world of trouble early on. That's a good play up the middle, close to a first down for Central. And carrying that football, Kazim Ali. 11 yards on the pickup.
And they're just going to fake the dive inside and throw that quick tight end pop, trying to get those linebackers to suck inside so the tight end can get free. And they've just got to stay with their game plan. They can't panic right now because they've given up some big plays and they're down by 15 points. They've got to stick with their game plan. It's still a lot of football left to play.
Central picks up the first down. And out of a shotgun, that is James Aldridge. And something that John Picala was talking about, the head coach of the Hawks, was that you might not even pick it up, but we'll take out DeMolin and put in Aldridge as our quarterback.
And DeMolin just lines up outside. They don't switch personnel, trying to catch Blue Springs off guard. They just snap it directly to Aldridge inside for a short game. But this defense, they've seen about everything there is to see, and these guys are experienced, and they attack from the opening kickoff on, so you better have your offensive game plan together.
2nd down and 9 for Hazelwood Central, trailing by 15. They swing it out left side, trying to sidestep a couple of people and a couple of defenders is James Aldridge. And it trips to the short side of the field, and they got the ball in Aldridge's hands.
And they just use this play just like a running play. They'd run the quick screen outside to Aldridge. Now it's just like a sweep. He's outside, doesn't have to worry about running through the pursuit, and hopefully he can use his athletic ability and beat a guy outside. The problem is this defense for Blue Springs, they run so well to the football, there's not a lot of room out there.
Aldridge had 4 touchdowns in the semifinal win against Lindbergh. 3rd down and 2 to go. They want to throw the football over the middle. They have a man, and what a hit! What a hit! Joey Butler was in there as Abe Quad was trying to come up with that, and he couldn't. John Samia with a huge hit.
And you see Samia lining up right there, just reading the quarterback's eyes, sees the pass, and watch him just unload on Quad right there. That's the way you hit a wide receiver. Samia, he actually started as a cornerback this year. They moved him to linebacker because he was so aggressive.
And he showed you why there. So Brian Harris will have to punt it away, standing on his own 20-yard line. The lefty kicks it deep, taken there by Austin Holt. And Holt is brought down across the 36. And that's where Blue Springs will get it. With 3:05 to go in the first quarter, they lead it by 15. Show Me Bowl 2003. Thus far, it's all Blue Springs. This season, they're trying to capitalize on an opportunity to add their 3rd state championship. They have won in '92 and most recently in 2001 for head coach Kelly Donahoe. They lead this one by 15. They want to throw the football and going right at Hazelwood Central. Look at this. Look at this. And another huge pickup inside the 25. for Blue Springs. Darius Hill, the reception. That's catch number 31 on the year for Hill.
Well, Hazelwood Central's got to do something different because whatever they're doing, it's not working. They just run a simple fade outside, and Stinson Dean, look at this throw, right on the money. Perfect throw to Darius Hill, the 6'6" wide receiver, and he's just running down the sideline. Brian Jordan has no idea where the football is. Look at his head. He doesn't know what's going on, and the ball's coming right over his head.
Darius Hill is looking at a lot of Big 12 schools, may play basketball, by the way. UMKC is recruiting him for basketball along with Ball State and some others. They look inside and trying to hook up again with Justin Brown, and he looked a little tardy back into the quarterback, Stinson Dean, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
And they're working on Brian Jordan over there, Central's left cornerback. He just got beat deep, and now they come back with the quick slant to Justin Brown. Brown just doesn't get his head around in time.
Blue Springs is at plays of 73 yards and 62 yards for 2 scores. We're only in the first quarter. Dean under center. Wants to keep it himself. A flag is on this play. Gets it inside the 15 and is brought down by a host of tacklers. But that may come back. A flag near the 25-yard line. He's on the turf here at the Dome. Would be a pickup of 10 if the play stays. And it goes against Blue Springs, so that will be brought back, and the pickup of 10 will be negated.
And it took them a long time to decide that that was a motion penalty. Normally you know that right off the top, but there was a lot of discussion between those referees, and maybe it was something they just came up with, huh, Dan?
There we go. Hazelwood Central, their defense has given up 15 points. Let's take a look at it. It's brought to you by Chrysler. A little bit undersized up front, and I know that's where one of the spots that Blue Springs feels that they can get after him. They do have a couple of 3-year starters in their defensive line. The linebackers are led by Zach Tuck, their leading tackler, with 117. And an All-American is in the defensive backfield, Nick Patterson. He wears number 8, the safety for Hazelwood Central. 2nd down and 15 for Blue Springs. And Dean hands it off. And a pickup of maybe 5 on the play, close to the original line of scrimmage, as that handoff went to Cameron Harms.
And he talked about how undersized they were on defense, and they were worried about the interior of that defense. Could they hold up physically? That's not been the problem so far. They've gotten beaten on the outside with speed. I think they may have underestimated how fast Blue Springs really is.
And those guys that are getting beat, Clayton Davis, and you talked about Brian Jordan. Dean wants to throw the football. They look inside, and it's thrown away. Trying to hook up with Danny Malone, the 6-foot senior. Could not connect. For all the brackets, stats, and information on today's games and all the Mishu playoffs, visit us on the web at www.misha.org. This will be a 41-yard attempt for Velasquez, trying to make this 18-0 Blue Springs. The kick is up. Snap was good. The hold was good. That's good. 18-0 Blue Springs. Velasquez with the field goal, his 10th, a 41-yarder.
Both of these teams have great kickers. We saw on the first drive, Hazelwood Central, they didn't try to kick a field goal on 4th down. Would have been about a 42-yard field goal. They come away with nothing. Now Blue Springs, when they get an opportunity to kick the field goal, they let Velasquez come in, does a great job, and now they're up 18-0. Now it really gets tough for Hazelwood Central, because now you've got to try to score quickly to get your confidence back in your ball club. And this is a tough team to do that against, because defensively Blue Springs, they've been awesome all year long.
Blue Springs has scored on 3 possessions. A 73-yard run by Cameron. Then a hook up to Brown and Justin, 62-yard pass. And a 41-yard field goal now to make it 18-0 in our first quarter of play. 5 plays, a minute 38. That's all it took. Velasquez kicks it deep. And a touchback. Should be 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line for Hazelwood Central, trying to get anything going. They've got to get a score, at least to get some confidence going.
And one thing Blue Springs has done very well all year is win the battle of field position. With the kicker like Velasquez, up until tonight, he's kicked every kickoff into the end zone for a touchback. That's phenomenal. That means that the offense is starting on their own 20-yard line. They've got to drive 80 yards to get into the end zone. And like I said earlier, against this defense, it's not going to happen very often.
Bobby DeMolin will try to get this offense going, down by 18. And a handoff to the sophomore James Aldridge. Picks up 4 on the play. We're under 2 minutes to go here in our first quarter. James Aldridge came into this ball game averaging 7 yards per carry and over 700 on the season. And for the most part, if they're going to run the football, to either be A.J. Jimerson or James Aldridge.
Those are their 2 guys running the football. They're both averaging about 7 yards a carry, and they line up where they want. They'll call the play. One guy line up at fullback, the other at tailback. The coach lets them decide.
Trying to throw the football and get it out wide left, and he can't. DeMolin was trying to hook up with Nick Patterson.
Blue Springs is playing man-to-man coverage outside. The quarterback reads it, but the wide receiver doesn't. The wide receiver runs that slant right there, and Butler's all over him. And Quad, they're just, right now, they are not in sync offensively. They're not able to run the ball inside. They can't get their speed guys outside. And DeMolin, their leader on offense, is just not gelling with his wide receivers in the passing game.
44 seconds to go in our first quarter. 3rd down and 7 with the ball on the 23. DeMolin wants to throw the football, has a man. Jimerson across the 45 near midfield, and that's a nice pickup for Hazelwood Central. Pickup of 24 on the play.
Nice patient play. Jimerson just comes out of the backfield. You're going to see number 11 just leaks right out of there, and it beats John Sumia. That linebacker gets caught up on that play action pass. That's one thing about this Blue Springs defense. They play a lot of man coverage with those aggressive linebackers. A play action fake can get those guys looking into the line of scrimmage. You might be able to get somebody down the field.
1st and 10 with the ball on the 48. So pick up there for Jimerson, and Hazelwood Central trying to get on the board, down by 18 points in our first quarter. Here's Jimerson again. Sidesteps one tackle, picks up a 1st down. Close to the 40 of Blue Springs, a pickup of 12 on the play.
And Jimerson's a good-looking running back. He's got almost 1,200 yards on the season, so he's made a lot of big plays for him. What he's got to do right now is make one guy miss, because with this blitzing defense, there's always going to be an unblocked guy in the hole. If he can make that guy miss and get to the 2nd level, he might be able to get some good yardage.
Jimerson, only a junior. The other tailback, Aldridge, only a sophomore. And our first quarter is done. It's in the books. The Show Me Bowl 2003. It's been all Kelly Donahoe and Blue Springs. They have scored on every possession they have had. A run of 73 yards, reception of 62, then a 41-yard field goal. 18-0. Blue Springs on top. I'm Dan McLaughlin. This is the start of our second quarter for the Class 6 state championship game. 18-0 all Blue Springs, but it looks like right now Hazelwood Central's got a little something going.
Well, they need to, because right now they are not in this ball game. They need to get something going defensively, because they have not been able to stop Blue Springs at all.
They have it 1st and 10 with the ball on the 40. They want to throw the football across the middle, and a flag. That's going to be pass interference, no doubt about it. As Sean Sharkey, their defensive captain, was trying to hold up that receiver going across the middle. And it looks like it's going to be pass interference, and it is.
Sean Sharkey, number 47, you see right there, is locked up in man coverage, just grabs the receiver, crosser right there. Just one of those little linebacker tricks of the trade right there on those crossers, but got caught with it.
Let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jim.
Dan, you mentioned that Bobby DeMolin, this is his first year at the helm of the Hawks. Big kid, but the coach thought he had a weak arm. Worked with him all summer, throwing the football, and it's paid off 26 touchdowns this season. And then we're going to need his arm to get back in this one, Dan.
See if he throws here. Thank you, Jim. He is. He's looking end zone. Double coverage, almost picked off by Justin Brown. A dangerous throw into a double coverage by DeMolin. He was trying to hook up with Nick Patterson, his all-state performer.
That's going to be a good matchup outside, Justin Brown and Patterson. But you can see again, pressure coming up the middle. Sean Sharkey comes untouched, just a little bit late, but forces an early throw. And Justin Brown, he's going to shadow Nick Patterson wherever he goes all night tonight. They think that that's a good matchup for Blue Springs.
2nd down and 10 with the ball resting on the 25 for Hazelwood Central. Trying to get on the board, trying to get anything going. DeMolin fakes throwing it left side. It's Jimerson trying to bounce it to the outside. Gets across the 25 and a pickup of maybe 3 on the play. It'll bring up a big 3rd down for Hazelwood Central.
And it looked like Jimerson was going to just bounce out of there. Blue Springs again blitzing inside. Everybody's got a gap. Jimerson just bounces through there. You see Sharkey 47 just misses him. Now it looks like he's going to get away from there, but look at all the white jerseys around. This defense is so fast. Now there's 4 other guys right there, and he's got nowhere to go.
Great pursuit by Sean Sharkey, the captain and the leader defensively for this squad for Blue Springs. 3rd and 9. DeMolin looking, throwing, has a man, and it's dropped. Intended receiver Abe Quad. Remember, Quad was the receiver that got tattooed earlier in this game.
And those receivers remember that, especially when they're running anywhere in the middle of the field. And Quad, he's got to make these plays. They need it big time. Ball's there. He's got to make that play. His eyes just came off of it a bit, looking for a possible hit, and just doesn't come down with the football.
And JC, here is decision time, even though it's early, for Hazelwood Central and the head coach John Pacala. Remember, on their first possession of the ball game, they would have had what would have been a 43-yard field goal. It was 4th down and 12. They elected to go for it, did not get the 1st down. Then all of a sudden, the next play, it was 6 off to the races for Blue Springs. If you're John Pacala, what do you do right here?
I think you've got to kick the football. You've got to get some points on the board. Let your team know that, hey, we're still in this ball game. We'll come down, we'll get 3, we can move the ball. They've got a great kicker. I say you kick the ball, get 3. 4th and 9, 4th and 10 against this Blue Springs defense is not very good.
You're looking at around a 34-35-yard field goal here. Let's take a look at our first quarter stats, brought to you by Chrysler. And really, offensively, for Hazelwood Central, really wasn't all that bad. It was just the defense that was allowing the big plays, and the big plays is what did it. And give Blue Springs a lot of credit. They came out gunning offensively.
Exactly. Look at the time of possession. Blue Springs only had the ball 2 minutes 34 seconds, but yet they've got 18 points on the board. That tells you they scored really quick.
4th and 10. They're going to go for it. They swing it out left side. Great play by Jimerson to get it. Trying to get the 1st down. There's a flag on the play. And Jimerson is going to be well short of the 1st down, but we'll see who that flag goes against. And I believe it's going to be against Central. And Nick Patterson with a block trying to get his man free.
And it's 4th and 10. They try to come with the screen to Jimerson. It really hasn't worked all ball game. I'm surprised they do it.
So a hold against Central. And a turnover on downs, and it's back to Blue Springs, and they have scored on every possession thus far.
They have, and you can see they just try to run the screen to Jimerson outside. There's the block, the hold outside by Patterson, and then again, look at the 4 white jerseys. There's Patterson holding Brown, and watch all the white jerseys around him. There's 3 guys right here. Brown makes 4, and that's a screen pass. You've got to get 10 yards against this defense. You've got to try to throw the ball downfield. But the message that this sends to his kids is that, hey, we're going to try to sell out right now and try to score. And this is real early in the ball game.
Stinson Dean and this offense back to work, and they swing it left side. It's Justin Brown with some blockers ahead, and he's close to a 1st down. A pickup of 8 on the play to Justin Brown, the 6'2 senior. And as you mentioned, JC, Kelly Donahoe calling Justin Brown Mr. Energy, Mr. Personality offensively for this team.
But he's done a good job defensively also. But he said on offense, he just brings such a confidence into the huddle that everybody else feeds off of it. And it's not a cockiness, it's a self-confidence that all good players have.
Clayton Hood checks into the ball game for Blue Springs as Dean goes back to work. 2nd down and 1 to go. They're close to a 1st down. That was Cameron Harms on the carry. And it's 18-0 Blue Springs. They've had plays of a 73-yard run, 62-yard touchdown pass, and a 41-yard field goal. They do get the 1st down. Ball rests on the 35. It'll be 1st and 10 for Blue Springs.
When you see that misdirection play that they just ran for the 1st down, they're going to run a lot of misdirection because the speed on Central's defense, they think that they can get them over pursuing and then come back with the misdirection play and make a big play out of it.
And you wonder about Blue Springs, would they be able to wear down the Hawks as big as this team is up front? 280, 250, 230, 320, and 250 up front, that offensive line. We're talking about high school kids.
High school kids that are strong and in shape. These aren't just big out-of-shape kids. These guys have been working out since January. They made a commitment to each other in January that they were going to get back to this ball game, and they only had 5 returning starters. They weren't even picked to win their own conference outright. They were picked as co-champs, and they kind of took that as a slap in the face.
You saw big number 58. He's only a junior, James Stegall, highly recruited. And Kelly Donahoe was saying that as far as offensive linemen go, some of the best footwork that he has seen in the state of Missouri, and certainly the best on his team.
And that's where they want to run the ball a lot. They're going to try to run it right behind Big Stegall because, like you said, he's got great feet, great size, and they think that if they can continue to run the ball right behind him, they're going to always get positive yardage.
Isaac Palele is also on that offensive line. You might remember that name. His uncle Lonnie was a 9-year pro. Palele goes 6'4", 320. That's all.
And he's the baby.
Yeah. 1st and 10, ball resting on the 35. And here's a reverse to Justin Brown, trying to pick up a block or two. He does. Across midfield, down across the 45, and another 1st down for Blue Springs. A pickup of 21 on the play for Justin Brown.
And they've just got this defense on his heels right now. You want to know why Justin Brown is such a confident guy? This is why. They run the reverse to him. He's got good size, speed, and just runs through a tackler right there. And now he's in the open field for a big gain. They've got some big play people on this offense, and right now all of those guys are stepping up when they get an opportunity.
Justin Brown looking at a number of schools. He is a senior, wants to play football next year in college. Looks like he will do so. Dean looking to throw the football. He's looking deep into double coverage and trying to hook up with Kevin Zion, just a little bit out of his reach. Kevin Zai is a leading receiver on this club with 43 catches.
And he's also their fastest wide receiver. They just try to get him on that corner route off the boot action. Good coverage by Central, and Stinson Dean has to throw the ball away.
Over 9 minutes to play in our first half of action. The Show Me Showdown.
What Hazelwood Central's got to do, they've got to try to come up with a turnover. That's what they've thrived on all year. Last week they had 6 turnovers in the semifinal game. They've got to try to find a way to take the ball away.
Dean will keep it himself. He's got blockers, cuts it outside, puts a nice little move inside, across the 25, make it across the 20. What an effort by Stinson Dean. A pickup of 25 on the play.
And Stinson Dean's just had an outstanding year, not only throwing the ball, but watch this quarterback draw. Great job running, but he's not the typical quarterback that's going to go down easy. Look at the move right there he puts on Patterson, and then he breaks 3 tackles down the field. Stinson Dean, he is the leader of this offense, and you can see why. He can get it done in a number of different ways.
17 touchdowns in the air, 5 on the ground. He is committed to Wyoming next year. Stinson Dean. And Dean pitches it out to the right side. This is Chris Bennon. reverses Fields across the 20 and down to about the 17-yard line. Let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jim.
Dan, Kelly Donahoe says Stinson Dean may be the smartest player he's ever coached. Says the young man has a real understanding about the defenses he's facing, also about his offense, so much that sometimes he questions the play calling. He goes to coach and says, "You sure you guys want to run that?" But I guess when you're 12-0, you can get away with that. Dan?
He also said Stinson Dean is very elusive. He is our Brett Favre. It's like having a linebacker playing quarterback. 18-0 Blue Springs. Kelly Donahoe and the Wildcats are rolling. Dean wants to throw a little middle screen. They've got it set up. Left side. This could be 6. And it's a touchdown. Darius Hill, the touchdown for Blue Springs. An 18-yard touchdown reception.
And Blue Springs is just rolling right now. Everything they're doing seems to be working. Darius Hill is normally a guy that's going to run those fade routes outside. The defense thinks he's going to do that, and now he just comes back with that middle screen, and it is just wide open.
A chance to make it 25-0 for Blue Springs. They have scored on every possession this far. 4 possessions and points every single time. It's up and good. 7 plays, 76 yards, and time of possession in that drive, 2 minutes and 57 seconds.
Look at that. Put your hands up. Breathe a little bit.
Darius Hill makes it 25-0 in the state championship game.
In the 2001 Show Me Bowl, Blue Springs jumped out to a 28-0 lead over Hazelwood East thanks to big plays by Curtis Cooper. His long TD reception and punt return for a touchdown sparked the Wildcats to their 28-12 victory and the state title.
Kelly Donahoe is the head coach then. He's the head coach now, and they are working on Darius Hill, who just picked up a reception for a touchdown. Hill, that reception, 18 yards to make it 25-0. It's all Blue Springs.
Took a pretty good shot in the end zone, but that looks like it's just a turf burn, just wrapping up a little bruise that you get on these AstroTurf fields.
Blue Springs will kick it off. Jimerson will take it, and it's a touchback for Hazelwood Central. Hazelwood Central, as we mentioned, started out the season 1-2. They have won now 6 straight to get to the state championship game, and the Wildcats of Blue Springs undefeated and #1 in the state. Try your hand at becoming a registered high school official. Take a chance and make a difference in the lives of students. For more information, visit www.mshsaa.org. Misha.org. Well, what can Hazelwood Central do here? Bouncing it outside. James Aldridge, the sophomore. 4 touchdowns in their last game against Lindbergh. The clock is running with under 8 minutes to go in our first half, and a pickup of 3 yards on the play.
And they've got to get the ball into their playmakers' hands and do it quickly, because obviously DeMolin's not having a lot of time to throw the ball, and he's the guy that actually sets the blocking scheme on pass plays. He yells to his offensive line how they need to slide, but right now with Blue Springs blitzing from all over, they just don't have enough guys to pick it up.
DeMolin in the shotgun. Wants to throw the football. Pressure is coming, and he is dropped for a big loss. Jerron Baston was in there, along with Kyle Crandell.
And again, right now, they just don't have enough guys to pick up all of the blitzers, and Baston comes free. He's got 9 sacks on the year, and he just beats the block of Aldridge outside. DeMolin, he has no chance back there. He's got to, if he's calling the pass protection, he needs to call everybody stay in and block and one guy go out, because that's right now, that's about the only chance they have.
Loss of 8 on the play. 3rd down and 15 to go for Hazelwood Central. Twice they have been in Blue Springs territory. Twice they've been faced with a decision. Do they kick a field goal or go for it on 4th down? And they have failed on those 4th down plays. They swing it out to the playmaker, Nick Patterson, and he is brought down, strung out near the 17-yard line, and a good defensive play by the Wildcats, and Hazelwood Central will have to punt it away.
And again, just great defense by Blue Springs. They keep leverage on the football. They know that Hazelwood Central, they've got a lot of speed, so they don't let those guys get to the outside. They keep their outside arm free, and then they rally to the football, and right now they've got all the answers.
Kevin Zai back to receive, standing on the 50-yard line, as Brian Harris will kick it away for Hazelwood Central. There's Zai, and as JC pointed out, the quickest man on the field for Blue Springs, and he fields it and met by 3 tacklers and brought down at the 46, but inside Hazelwood Central territory. A 30-yard punt. Got games tomorrow and games today that took place already this afternoon and this evening. Centralia over Lawson 42-9. There's a Class 4 state championship. Kearney over Ladue 43-0. Of course, this is the Class 6 state championship. 25-0 Blue Springs trying to add to this lead. There is a mercy rule in the second half of high school football, 35-point lead or more. The clock continues to run. We're not at that point yet. Blue Springs keeps it up the middle. They want to keep that clock rolling. This is the 5th possession for Stinson Dean and Blue Springs. In the previous 4, look at that, 3 touchdowns and a field goal and a lead of 25 points.
And then they get the ball back in their 6th possession in great field position. They start out on the Hazelwood Central 46-yard line, so you haven't stopped them all game long. It's going to be tough to stop them here, and this defense has played well. They've only given up 10 points a game the last 6 weeks on average, and already this first half they've given up 25.
Dean under center, 2nd down and 5. They want to run the option. Aaron pitch, ball is on the turf, but Harms comes up with it. Remember, Harms was the first man that picked up a touchdown in this game for Blue Springs, a 73-yard run.
And this could have been another big play. It's the same play as the first one, except Harms doesn't catch the ball because there's a lot of room outside if he can catch this football. And Harms is a guy, like I said earlier, they thought was going to have a big game today because every time he's been called on all year long, the guy just steps up and answers that challenge. And tonight he was challenged, obviously, because they lost their starting running back, and he was going to have to help pick up the load.
They still picked up 3 on the play, 3rd down and 2. Man in motion, Justin Brown, and now a whistle and a flag. And a stoppage in play with 4:17 to go in our first half. And it goes against Hazelwood Central. Nothing going the way of Central.
No, and that offsides penalty is going to give Blue Springs a 1st down.
They mentioned the schedule for Blue Springs and how tough this has been this year. And Kelly Donahoe saying that Blue Springs South probably their toughest opponent, where they won at home 21-12, but they had to play Rockers twice. That's never easy. Had to play Hickman twice.
And play Oak Park. I mean, if you can come out of the Kansas City area, that says a lot about your ball club.
That one is on a rope from Stinson Dean, and he finds Justin Brown. A strong throw and a pickup of 11 on a play. And another 1st down for Blue Springs.
And Stinson Dean, you can see the play action right here, but look at him stay tall in the pocket. Good follow through on delivery. Great ball to Justin Brown. And right now, everything Blue Springs is doing offensively seems to be working. Hazelwood Central just has they have no answers right now.
They picked up 18 points in the 1st quarter, have added 7 here in this 2nd. Dean pitches it to Harms, left side, has some blockers, close to a 1st down, probably picked it up. He's inside the 15, down near the 12. It looks like another 1st down. It'll be close.
And Harms is just a tough kid. He's only 165 pounds, but he's carrying tacklers downfield. Looks like he's going to have a 1st down. They're going to measure here. As you can see right there, Cameron Harms goes in the record books.
Tony Temple, 39 yards last year, was the longest. That was the previous record. Measuring here for the 1st down to see if Blue Springs got it, and they do by a nose. 3:29 to go in our first half.
And with this Blue Springs offense, if you allow them to run the football and stay balanced, you know Stinson Dean can throw the ball. If you allow those guys to get their running game going, I mean, they're almost impossible to stop, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Dean under center, the senior. Pitches it to Harms. Harms has the blockers. Harms has his second touchdown of the night. It is all Blue Springs. 31-0 and a 13-yard touchdown run for Cameron Harms. He only had 45 carries on the season, and he has been one of the stars tonight.
No doubt about it, and a great play call. Blue Springs always tries to add a wrinkle or two for every ball game, and that's another wrinkle. It looks like it's a toss sweep to the right, but it's really a counter play back to the left. They get the defense spread out both ways, and Harms just takes it virtually right down the middle.
5 plays, 2 minutes, 29 seconds on that very efficient drive by the Blue Springs Wildcats. 32-0. We head to another timeout. All Blue Springs tonight. Harms his second touchdown. Wildcats tonight. Blue Springs up by the score of 32-0 with 3:13 to play in our second quarter. 2 touchdowns by the air and 2 on the ground by the same man, Harms.
And this is a great play. They're going to look like it's a toss right. They're going to get the defense to flow right, seal that, and then kick out the left side out and watch the lane that Harms has to run through.
Even number 19 is out there to block.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that hole right there. Nobody in a black jersey anywhere close. They're all sealed to the outside, and Cameron Harms has an easy touchdown.
So Blue Springs will kick it away. And again, another touchback. Velasquez has done a heck of a job on these kickoffs. Another touchback, and the Hawks will take over. 1st and 10 on their 20.
And most people don't give kickers a lot of credit, but when you've got a kicker like Velasquez that can kick it into the end zone virtually every time, make an offense have to drive 80 yards to score, especially when you're up by 32 points. With this defense, it's not going to happen very often, Dan.
He looks like a kicker.
He kicks like a kicker.
Central trying to get anything going if they can. And a handoff to Jimerson. Dragging the pile. Good effort. Good second effort. Pickup of 1 or 2 on the play. Let's take a look at tomorrow's Misha Championship games. Princeton and Marionville will hook up. Harrisonville and St. Genevieve and Park Hill and Webster Groves in the premier game tomorrow night. We hope to see you down here at the Edward Jones Dome. And on Sunday, Minnesota and the St. Louis Rams will hook up. Level play will pick up a little bit on Sunday.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. DeMolin swung it out, and there is nothing there for A.J. Jimerson.
And Central, they better be careful right here. I know they just want to run this clock out, try to get into the locker room and regroup, but exactly what's going to happen. Blue Springs is going to start taking some timeouts, force them to punt, and see if they can get back on the board.
They lose 3 on the play, and a timeout is taken by Blue Springs. That's exactly what you're talking about.
And if they can force Central to punt here, if they stop them on 3rd down, they're going to get great field position again. And this offense, the way they've been rolling, they're going to be able to get some more points on the board. You got to give that guy right there, Kelly Donahoe, a lot of credit, staying very aggressive. He could easily say, hey, we're up 32 points. Let's let the clock run out. But not in a state championship game. You got to play 60 minutes.
They have had some close games this year. Second game of the season, 37-31. They beat Rockhurst. They had a 23-22 win over Oak Park. They won by 10 last week over Hickman.
And it hasn't been easy for them. That's why this group, they play with so much heart. And this is Coach Donahoe's closest knit team, he says. And that's why these guys are where they are right now. Not because of talent. He said they're not overly talented. They just refuse to lose. They're relentless. And you can see these guys out here tonight, very intense, flying around.
He said they're not as talented as 2 years ago when they won the state championship. But as you mentioned, the best group as far as being tight-knit. and the best work ethic of any group that he has ever had. DeMola wants to throw the football, has a man, and close to a first down is Abe Quad. Almost dropped that one. Very close to the first down. I believe he's short.
And this is the second time we've seen this play run. Quad is just going to curl up right here, and he has to double catch this ball. The first time where they ran this play, he dropped the ball. Exact same play. This time it takes him twice to catch it. Now they're 4th and 1. They can't afford to not punt this ball away and risk it, giving the ball to Blue Springs right here on their 30-yard line.
A minute 40 and counting in the first half, and now a timeout taken by the Hawks. A pickup of 10 on that last play, but here's a big play now for Hazelwood Central. Do you punt it away? You've got 1 yard to go. Do you have enough confidence in your offense to get that 1 yard?
I don't think you can risk it right now. I think you've got to punt the ball away because you can't afford to not get it and allow Blue Springs to score again. A minute and 35 seconds for Blue Springs is a lot of time, especially with this offense. I don't think you can take that risk.
And let's go, where's the bubble at? We're moving eye right. Huh? 2 hole? Hey, close your splits down. We want to go eye right, 42 lead on the first sound. Eye right, 42 lead on the first sound. Scoot up a little bit.
First down on the first down. Ready?
They're just going to try to run the lead play right between the guard and the tackle and see if they can get a yard out of it. Looks like Aldridge is going to line up at the tailback position. He's going to be the guy getting the ball with Fair, the 200-pound fullback, leading the way.
Great work by our Fox Sports Net crew to get the sounds of the game. Here we go. 4th and 1. They're close to that first down. I'm not so sure, though, that they got it.
42.
And you can see that they didn't run the right play. You can hear Coach Bacala telling them 42, and they didn't run it. And I think they're going to be short here on 4th down.
The spot is short of the 30-yard line. That's going to be a turnover on downs. I don't think they got it.
It's going to be close, but like you said, Dan, it does not look like they got the first down.
The spot is short of the 30.
And that's a tough call. That shows your team that you've got some confidence, but I think you've got to be smart in this situation. And right now, they're short now. Blue Springs has got the ball again in great field position with a minute 30 left. You can see the defense inside. Everybody reestablishing the line of scrimmage on Central's side of the ball, and they just don't get that first down. They don't get enough yards. They gave the ball to Fair on that quick hitter.
And that was the right spot. That was the correct spot by the official. You could see it where he was down. So it's 1st and 10 now, and a chance to add to this 32-0 lead for Blue Springs. With 1:30 to go in our first half, it has been all Blue Springs this evening. Stinson Dean under center. He runs the offense. Justin Brown goes in motion. And a loose ball on the ground, and Dean a heads-up play to get it.
And Central was very lucky that Justin Brown dropped that ball because Blue Springs had numbers out there. And they're going to come back to that play. We've seen them run that play 3 or 4 times. If Justin Brown catches this ball, he's got a lot of room outside. There's just no defenders out there.
Loss of 9 on the play. 2nd down and 19. Certainly, if you're Blue Springs and you get the ball back here, you're smelling it. Going for broke. And a handoff straight up the middle. This could be another touchdown. Chris Bennon, a touchdown, adds to this lead. 38-yard run by Chris Bennon, the 5'11 senior. The 3rd rushing touchdown of the night for Blue Springs, and it's 38-0.
And like you said, Dan, Blue Springs is smelling it right now. That's why I did not think that was a good call to try to go for it on 4th down for Central, because this offense is too explosive and too good. And you see it didn't even take them a minute to get into the end zone.
48 seconds.
2 plays.
Yep. The PAT is good. 39-0 Blue Springs in our first half.
And they've scored on the outside. They've scored passing. Watch number 33 Benham on the draw. You can see just sets up. And now look at the great block. And now look downfield. Breaks one tackle, and now it's a foot race right there. Hazelwood Central just not doing a good job of tackling at all, not wrapping up. And you've got to wrap up these guys. Benham, he's a strong guy. Not real fast, but he had enough speed on that play to get to the house.
His 13th touchdown of the season. That is tops on the club. And he averages 6 yards per carry. Had over 500 during the season on 85 carries. And the 5'11 senior, only 185, puts it in the end zone to make it 39-0 Blue Springs.
And that big offensive line just dominating. And watch the blocks downfield. Watch Buddy Silkwood, number 67, right there just coming right at you. He's going to get a great block on the safety. You also see Justin Brown downfield, and from that point, it's just a foot race. There's nobody left, and Benham just outruns him to the end zone. This offensive line, they're big, they're strong, they're athletic. They're just dominating the line of scrimmage right now. Blue Springs doing everything they want to do, throwing the ball, running the ball inside, running the ball outside. Central right now, they just need to get into the locker room and try to regroup.
Under a minute to play, and it's kicked away by Blue Springs. And another terrific kick to Jimerson, another touchback, and that's where Hazelwood Central will get it 1st and 10 on their own 20 with 42 seconds to play in our first half. Velasquez has been outstanding on these kickoffs, and he also has a field goal tonight of 41 yards. But it's the little things as to why you're a state champion. Things like that.
Things like that. You win the battle of field position, especially with this defense and this offense. If you can make a team have to drive the long field and you can play on the short field, you're going to be undefeated, and that's exactly what Blue Springs is.
And there's a flag, and it looks like it's going to go against Hazelwood Central. If you're Kelly Donahoe, JC, you get to this point where you're up 39-0, but you don't want to embarrass anybody in a state championship game, and this game is being broadcast across the state. But it's only the second quarter, and that's one of the dilemmas that he's at. When do you call off the dogs?
Exactly, and you teach your players and your team to play 60 minutes, and you say, hey, no matter what, we've got to go out. You've got to give it your best every single play. And, you know, at some point, he's going to call the dogs off and put in the backups, but it's going to be a while before that happens.
Here's Jimerson. He gets outside, and that'll stop the clock with 35 seconds to go. Pick up a 4 on the play. It started on their first possession and their first play where they set the tone. A 73-yard run by Cameron Harms. He has 2 touchdowns tonight, 2 by the air, and 3 on the ground rushing for Blue Springs. To mix in also a field goal and a 2-point conversion, and that's where you get your 39 points. Clock is stopped with 35 seconds to go in our first half. In our second half of play, there will be a mercy rule because it's 35 points or more. And the clock will continue to run in high school football. And off to Aldridge, straight up the middle. That could be the final play of the half.
Hazelwood Central, again, just being real conservative, trying not to turn the ball over right here. And I'm surprised, because if they were aggressive enough to try it on 4th down, hey, why not take some shots downfield? You might get a pass interference, you might get a big play, and right now they've got nothing to lose. They've got to try to go in at halftime and say, hey, we're just going to come out and wing it around the second half, see if we can make something happen.
That's going to do it, though, for the first half of play. It's all Blue Springs tonight in the Class 6 state championship. 39-0. Jim Hayes is standing by with John Picala for Hazelwood Central. Jim.
John, I know it's not the kind of first half you were looking for.
No, absolutely not. But it's a great football team over there, and we're just we're getting manhandled on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball right now. We knew we weren't as big as them, but we kind of hope we'd be able to put up a little bit of better effort than that. But the kids are still going to keep playing hard. We'll try to win the second half. That's all we can do now.
You're staying upbeat on the sideline. What are you telling your kids to try to keep them in it?
You know, they've had a great season. They don't need to hang their heads. They need to just keep on playing hard and like I said, we'll try to win the second half here, and hopefully that'll give us a little bit of inspiration.
Coach, thanks for the time. Dan?
Okay, guys, thank you very much. John Picala, very much a class act. It has been all Blue Springs tonight. They lead it by 39 points.
Once again, welcome back to the Dome. We're at halftime of the Class 6 state championship. The Wildcats of Blue Springs leading. You know, earlier in the season, the Wildcats were picked as co-favorites in their own conference. That was early in the season. Even their coach didn't know what he had. But after going 12-0 and after their performance today, safe to say everybody knows what the Wildcats are all about. Let's take a closer look at the Wildcats. The Blue Springs Wildcats are looking to win their second state football championship in 3 years. It takes a special combination of players, coaches, and staff to reach and maintain that high level of excellence.
This is a great example of what a team's all about. Coach Donahoe and his staff have done an excellent job of bringing everybody together. These are one of the teams that you really like to be around. You never want the season to end because you've had so much fun being with these young people.
It's a very supportive staff. They also want to see the kids in the activities program achieve at a high level. Success breeds more success, and I think that success in the classroom and in the activities program feed off each other, and it really benefits our whole school.
Our kids have one heartbeat, and I know that's an old adage from, I think, Bear Bryant, but they do. I mean, our kids do everything together. They like each other a lot, and they stick together, and there's never any bickering.
Success is great, and it's what every program strives for. But when you're dealing with young people, there's a bigger picture.
I think a real important thing is to have a little fun while you're doing that. I think we've kind of lost perspective in this day and age of what's important. And it's funny, when kids have fun, they usually are pretty successful.
It's hard, and then we just have a lot of fun. We're relaxed, and during practice and stuff, we're messing around, and we get things done, but yeah, we have a relaxed attitude.
It's special because to be an athlete at Blue Springs, you've got to make a commitment and be a very dedicated person, do things right on and off the field, and our kids do. We got a real special group this year, but I think like any kid that plays high school sports, what you learn is invaluable for the rest of your life.
Although athletics provide a tremendous platform to learn and grow for players, all high school students share the same responsibility of taking care of business in the classroom.
Education comes first. I do my football and I come straight home and just get right to my homework.
Academically, we got a good school, and they challenge you, and a lot of my teachers challenge me, being who I am and the busy lifestyle that I have to lead with football. They challenge me to get those good grades, and they do a good job of pushing me.
If you look at some of our athletes, they're some of our top students. And you look at some of our coaches, and they're some of our better teachers.
With everybody committed to excellence, it's no wonder Blue Springs has experienced so much success on and off the field.
Imagine it is all Blue Springs, and how about this, the first play of the game for them?
First play of the ball game, the backup running back, not even their starter. He was today, though, but comes in, goes 73 yards on the first play of the game.
So they do it by the ground. They also do it by the air. Here is a 62-yard pass and a hookup, and what a catch here by Brown.
Just great concentration. Pass interference call didn't matter. This was the third play of the game for Blue Springs, 2 touchdowns.
They also would set up a 41-yard field goal, but this is an 18-yard touchdown reception by Darius Hill. He would get in the scoring column, and then it's Farms again. So it was all Blue Springs. They mixed in a field goal, 5 touchdowns, and also a 2-point conversion. So that's where you get your 39 points.
And then Benham right here, right before the end of the half, comes up with a big 38-yard touchdown. Like you said, just all Blue Springs. And when you take a look at the stats, Dan, that's what you see. All Blue Springs. Look at the time of possession, though. Blue Springs only had the ball for 8 minutes, 48 seconds, but got 39 points on the board. And what we don't see here is third downs. Blue Springs only had 1 third down the entire first half, so they were making big play after big play.
Our Chrysler Stats second half is coming up. The Show Me Showdown, and it's all Blue Springs, 39-0. 2003 Show Me Bowl on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Chrysler, who knows that students are our future. Your local Chrysler Dealers Association is a proud sponsor of the Misha Show Me Bowl. Edward Jones Dome in downtown St. Louis. Welcome back. Jim Hayes, J.C. Pearson. My name is Dan McLaughlin. Blue Springs with a lead of 39-0. And like Kelly Donahoe was saying, you just want to end the season on a high note. Make sure that you end it with class if you're going to win this game. And if you're Hazelwood Central, you just try to do anything to get back in this ball game, and you play for a little pride right now.
For Hazelwood Central, exactly like you said, Dan, it's all about pride right now. Don't even worry about the scoreboard. Don't even look up there. You just play hard, play it out. You've had a great season. 39 points is a huge obstacle to overcome against this Blue Springs team, but you can still end your season on a high note by playing hard and giving it everything you've got.
Bobby DeMolin was one of the bright spots, the quarterback for Central. He was 9 of 16 for 99 yards. Not bad. He also had a couple of drops out there, so it could have been better than that.
It sure could have, especially early in the ball game. They made a couple big plays through the air, and then they kind of got away from it. Hopefully the second half they can get back to that and make this game competitive.
And Blue Springs will start with the football as we start our second half of play. Zai will take it out of his own end zone, and it's brought out close to the 14, tripped up, and that's where Blue Springs will take over 1st and 10 in their first possession of the game. Now, this is a mercy rule in high school football that if it's 35 or more points, my understanding is once they snap this ball, the clock will continue to run with the exception of change of possession. That would be it, or an injury timeout.
Right, and that's about the only thing that's going to stop this Blue Springs Wildcats team right now is the clock hitting 00. If they're clicking like they were that first half, I'm telling you what, there's not very many teams out there, and obviously there hasn't been any this year to stop them because they have not lost up to this point.
34 yards per completion for Stenson Dean. And the handoff goes to Cameron Harms, and I'm sure that's something that we're going to see is the ball on the ground 99.9% of the time for Blue Springs.
And that's what Coach Donahoe said. They're going to be real conservative. They're going to run the ball inside, keep the clock running. The problem is when you get those backups in, those guys are excited about playing too. This is a big game for them.
Sure.
State championship, so it's hard to pull the reins in on those guys. They want to come in and make some plays too.
Kelly Donahoe and Blue Springs trying to pick up their second state championship in the last 3 years. This is Bennett, who picked up the last touchdown for Blue Springs, close to a first down, just shy of the first down marker. A pickup of 3 for Chris Bennett. 85 carries on the season for Bennett. 5'11" senior, wants to play college football, will probably play at a smaller level.
And this was that counter play they scored on at the end of the first half, where it looks like a toss sweep to one side, and then they come back with the counter to the other side. This time Central plays it much better than they did the first half.
John Picala, the head coach of Hazelwood Central, talked about at the half with Jim Hayes how the line of scrimmage has been dominated by Blue Springs. They're trying to pick up another first down here. This would be the first hold by Central if they have to punt it away.
And it doesn't look like that they're going to hold. And this third down play here was only the second third down play of the ball game for Blue Springs. They've got 39.
Amazing.
It's amazing. They've got 39 points on the board. They've had the ball for 8 minutes and 48 seconds and only 1 third down. That tells you that they've been making big play after big play on first and second down.
Under 10 minutes to play in our third quarter. 39-0 Blue Springs. They led 18-0 after the first. They picked up 21 more in the second quarter. And off to Cameron Harms again. And a pickup of 6 on the play. May have lost a shoe.
And they're trying to be real conservative, but Hazelwood Central is just missing a lot of tackles. Look right there. Heads are dropping. There's 3 guys there, and he still falls forward for an extra 3 yards. That is exactly what hurt them the first half. They're just not wrapping up on their tackles. It's carrying over to the second half, and tackling is just an attitude, Dan. You've got to want to go in and hit somebody, and right now I think Hazelwood Central, the life's kind of taken away from them.
Nearly 14 yards a carry for Harms. This is pitched out to the left side. Chris Bennon, who has a touchdown tonight, 13 on the season, and a pickup of 3 on the play. We talked about it and spoke about this during our open, and we thought this could be a key to the game. Jarrett Morris suspended for this game along with Corey Arrington, a linebacker, but Morris, a two-way starter, leading rusher, third leading receiver, but it has not affected Blue Springs one bit, up by 39 points.
And you've got to give Coach Donahoe a lot of credit for taking a stand, regardless of who it is. If you break a team rule, you're going to be suspended and have to sit. It doesn't matter if it's the state championship or not, and that sends a message throughout his program that everybody's got to toe the line.
Whitworth was in motion. Here's Harms again. Cuts it up across the 40. May bust another one. He's across another 40. It's a foot race to the 20, to the 10. It's a touchdown for Blue Springs. 66 yards for Cameron Harms, and his third touchdown of the night.
Wow. Like I said, missed tackles. And Blue Springs is not really trying to open it up. But guys are out there and they're going to make a play. And look at the missed tackles again. Just a basic inside play. There's one missed tackle. Here comes a couple more. And now they're out of position. It's a foot race. I mean, you can't blame Harms for wanting to make the play. This guy hasn't gotten a lot of carries all year long. He's playing hard.
David Watkins with the extra point and kicks it through. What a night for Cameron Harms, just a junior. He's back for another season for Blue Springs, and they're pouring it on. It's 46-0 with 8:11 to go in the third quarter. 3 touchdowns for Cameron Harms.
And watch just the Hazelwood Central defense. This is just an easy run play, and watch all the guys not getting off blocks, missing a tackle, and just really not hustling downfield. Look at all the guys getting blocked. Guys are waiting for other people to make a play. Guys just running right by Harms, not even trying to tackle him. I mean, the life has just been taken out of Hazelwood Central and this Blue Springs team. I mean, what can you say about these guys? They come out, they play hard the first half. They come out the opening drive of the second half, and even being very conservative, put a long touchdown drive together.
It only took 3 minutes and 42 seconds, 6 plays, 85 yards. Cameron Harms, 3 touchdowns tonight and closing in on 200 yards.
And I think he can take his pads off and sit down and have some Gatorade and have some fun with the fans, because right now I think the second and third teamers are going to be able to get in this ball game and get some good quality playing time.
And that's valuable for next year and the year after. Some sophomores and juniors on this squad. Kicked out of the end zone again. And it's a touchback. 46-0. The third annual Misha Sportsmanship Summit will take place in Columbia on Wednesday, August 4th. The summit is open to students, parents, officials, coaches, and administrators, and registration is limited. See the Misha website for more details or call area code 573-875-4880. 573-875-4880 for more details. 8:11 to play in our third quarter. DeMolin looking for the wideout, and his big tight end Kazim Ali, as the clock continues to run despite the incompletion.
And that's really what they have to do. They have to come out and just try to wing the ball around. They've got nothing to lose at this point, but just come out, play hard. And this is a statement right now for Hazelwood Central, especially the younger players, to show their coaches that, hey, they're never going to quit. They're going to keep fighting until the last second is off the clock.
Second down and 10. Well, if you're Central, you just want to get on the board. Anyway, anyhow. DeMolin wants to throw the football, looking sideline again. Trying to hook up with Jeremy Rahman. And the coverage was good down that right sideline where Jim Hayes is standing by. Jim?
Hey, Cameron Harms has 3 touchdowns today. No one happier about that than his mother, Trudy. And you're saying that Cameron didn't expect to have a big game because he wasn't feeling that well.
No, and he's one of a group, and he just wanted the team to do well. He is just doing amazing. We're so proud of him, and everybody is going nuts up here. But he has been not feeling very well at all, been running a fever, so this is an amazing game for him today.
He's very competitive. He's also a wrestler, right?
He's a wrestler. He took second place in state last year.
All right, Cameron Harms doing it all, Dan.
10 rushes, 183 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
And not only mom, but personal PR person. Oh.
And it's picked off. Justin Brown down the sideline. He may score close to a touchdown on that return, and he is knocked out of bounds near the 2, possibly the 1-yard line. A 37-yard return for Justin Brown. Remember, he has a touchdown tonight.
They're just trying to throw the ball downfield now, but you've got to be smart about it. The ball is overthrown. That's the same play they've run 3 times in the first half, and it's overthrown right to Justin Brown, and he tries to score with it himself. I mean, it's when the ball comes right to you, it's hard to tell your players not to make a play, and you can see you're not going to get an easier interception than that. And Justin Brown does what he knows how to do when he gets the ball in his hands, and that's try to get to the end zone.
Brett Onwander has checked in the game, and it looks like that the second unit is going to take center stage now for Blue Springs.
Yeah.
That means all kinds of fun for us.
I just wish you would have cut back in this down, man.
46-0 Blue Springs. Let's take a timeout and sort all this out. All Blue Springs tonight. To get to this championship game, a couple of times they played this year, and Blue Springs leading this one 46-0. With 5:37 to go.
And those Kansas City schools in recent history, Dan, have just dominated the Show Me Bowl.
They're dominating tonight. Stetson Dean is still the quarterback in this game, and flags are flying. We got some second teamers that are out there, so trying to get on the same page, but still that's going to go against Hazelwood Central. Nothing going right.
Nothing going right. Murphy's Law, when things what could go wrong has gone wrong for Hazelwood Central tonight.
Still 1st and goal. Did take 4 seconds off the clock. Dean hands it off to the first man through. It looks like another touchdown. No signal yet, and it is a touchdown. Brett Onwander picks up the touchdown for Blue Springs, and they've got 52 points up on the board.
And you can't accuse them of trying to run the score up, because outside of just kneeling the ball down, you can't get any more basic than just a fullback dive straight up the middle, no lead block or anything. They're still able to get into the end zone.
Kyle Flowers to attempt the extra point, kicks it up and through.
Blue Springs has dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and you can see again this offensive line. Look at the push they get, and Wander just keeps driving those legs, and he ends up 2 yards in the end zone. And like I said, outside of taking a knee, you can't get any more basic than just a straight fullback dive. So, you know, I don't think anybody can accuse Blue Springs of right now of trying to run the score up.
Nope. It was set up by the interception. 1 play, 11 seconds, and a 2-yard drive. And they have put up 14 points to start the second half.
And this offensive line has really been the key for this team all year long. They're all new starters. They had no returning starting offensive linemen this year. 5 new guys, and they've really come together, played extremely well, not only tonight, but all year long.
18 points in the first quarter, 21 in the second, 14 in the third this far. And it's 53-0. Another deep kick and another touchback is coming up. 1st and 10 on the 20 now for Hazelwood Central. Fox number 3, fantasy football players, listen up. Now there's a show just for you. With 30 minutes of who to start, who to sit, and who's the player you need to pick up, our experts do the work to help you look like a genius. The ultimate fantasy football show, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and Sunday mornings, only on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings for the start times in your area. 53 to zip. And the handoff goes to Jimerson to the right side. He spins away from one tackle across the 25. And there's over 5 minutes to play in our third quarter. Leading rusher for Hazelwood Central this year is A.J. Jimerson, over 1,100 yards. Only a junior, averaging 99 yards a game. Also one of their top receivers, third leading receiver on this team. Well, you feel for those kids from Hazelwood Central, don't you?
You really do, but they've had a tremendous season, starting off 1-2 and then ending up here in the state championship game. They just have to finish it off and not hang their heads and play for pride right now. There's a lot to be proud for in that season.
Jimerson is tied up, met by a host of tacklers. We will see a bunch of second-teamers coming in for Blue Springs, and we talked about this before. He is the tight end this year. Luke Whitworth, he will be the starting quarterback next year. Now, you might remember that name, Whitworth. His brother QB'd the state team 2 years ago. His name is Justin. And Luke will be the quarterback next season, could be the quarterback in our next series.
Exactly, and he's a guy that they really like, and he's their H-back right now. He lines up all over the place, knows this offense very well, and we could very well see him at quarterback tonight.
Out of the shotgun, DeMolin, and it's incomplete as the clock continues to run. Jim Hayes, help us out. What do you know?
Well, if anyone can pick himself off the canvas, so to speak, it's A.J. Jimerson. You see, he comes from a boxing family. His father was a professional fighter, a light heavyweight, and his mom is a professional fight judge. She's been all over the country looking at fights, but I think she would score this one a knockout, Dan.
53-0 with 3.5 to go, third quarter. Thank you, Jim. Hazelwood Central will punt it away. Midwest Sports Report is coming up after the game. And the kick is away, and it's a fair catch called for and taken at the 37. Kevin Zai with the fair catch. 3:19 to go, third quarter, 53 zip. Kelly Donahoe looking on, his club up 53-0, a new record tonight. For Cameron Harms, 183 yards on the ground. That is a Class 6 record. Tony Temple a season ago, 143 to set the all-time mark, but now we have a new record, 183 tonight. And cutting back, it's Chris Bennett. Cutting back again, and now strung out on the play and brought down near the 31-yard line. Offensive line has been terrific tonight.
They've done everything they've asked to do in the run game, in the pass game. You can see they're still blocking. There's a hat on a hat. Benham just cuts the ball back to the pursuit, but this offensive line, you can't give them enough credit, and Stinson Dean finally goes out of the ball game.
Standing ovation for Dean. And the senior is done. Off to Wyoming for Stinson Dean. And now it's Luke Whitworth, the tight end, that will play quarterback next season, and the backup quarterback here. Nice play made there. James Aldridge with the tackle.
And that's what you want to see from Hazelwood Central. Guys still playing hard, giving it everything they have. You can see the defensive line getting up the field, and a great tackle right here by James Aldridge, showing that there's still fight left in him, and he's going to play till the very end. That's what coaches look for. Even though, again, here's another penalty on Hazelwood Central.
Now we'll stop the clock with 1:36 to go in our third quarter. So against Hazelwood Central, unsportsmanlike conduct. And it brings up a third down and 8 with the ball resting on the 40 for Blue Springs. Whitworth is now the quarterback. Whitworth, the quarterback draw, keeps it himself. And Hazelwood Central wraps him up. Keeps the clock running. And somebody is down on the ground, one of the Blue Springs players. And there's a look at Stinson Dean, the quarterback, senior leader for Blue Springs, has led his club to 53 points tonight.
Great night by Stinson Dean, a great year by Stinson Dean as he wraps up his career at Blue Springs. And for the first time tonight, we get a chance to see Blue Springs punting unit.
Jimerson back deep to receive for Hazelwood Central. Drew DiPeralta is the punter for Blue Springs. Clayton Davis now back to receive also, along with A.J. Jimerson. There's Jimerson. Clock is running as we approach the fourth quarter. Thankfully.
And they drop another guy back, Jimerson. Maybe they might be thinking reverse or throw back across the field, just something to try to make a big play.
Blue Springs will down this as it takes a roll in their favor near the 25, and Central will take over when we start the fourth quarter. 14 more points put up on the board in our third quarter play. Comes to a conclusion. Fourth quarter coming up. .53 and don't forget that the fun continues on Fox Sports Net this March at the Hearn Center in Columbia. Join us live on March 13th for the Class 5 boys and girls basketball championship games right here on Fox Sports Net, the home of the Missouri State High School Activities Association. Hazelwood Central with the football. Man open across the middle. This is the All-American candidate, Nick Patterson. He's off to the races. Down to the 20, to the 10, and knocked out of bounds. Nick Patterson, a huge gain for Hazelwood Central. Bounced off a tackle and a pickup of 64 yards on the play.
Well, that's something they can definitely feel good about. Nick Patterson, their big-time playmaker, finally gets a chance to make a play, runs the slant, fights off the tackle right here, and then uses his speed. And he's a big-time player for him, heavily recruited by a lot of big Division I schools, and again just comes up with the big play, the slant play. They've run this all night, haven't really been able to catch it all night, but they finally get a completion to Patterson.
Patterson, not only is he an all-state player, but a 4.3 GPA. And Patterson is knocked out of bounds as Justin Brown was in on the coverage, and a flag on the play as they were trying to hook up with Nick Patterson, a two-way starter. He's being recruited by Ohio State, Notre Dame. Mizzou, by the way, offered him on the first day that they could. And one of the great things about him is a very coachable, one of the captains of this team. And with that reception for 64 yards, it was his 45th reception this season. Big-time player.
You see he's still out there giving it everything he has. They called pass interference on Justin Brown. They were trying to throw the fade to Nick Patterson, and he draws a pass interference call.
Clock running, under 11 minutes to play. Final quarter of play. Across the middle, and now it's picked off. Nothing going right for Hazelwood Central. Sherrod Aiken picked it off, and a 20-yard return.
And you see the disbelief on all of those faces over there. They just can't believe whatever could go wrong has gone wrong and is going wrong for Central. Aiken is just lining up at the linebacker position right there, and you can see the ball just comes right to him. He has no other choice but to catch the ball, and it's been just a tough night. Again, just reading the quarterback's eyes, really doesn't move at all runs under the slant by Aldridge and comes up with an interception.
Good job, baby.
10:43 is stoppage in play.
You've got to give this coaching staff of Blue Springs a lot of credit, from the head man Donahoe on down. They've had great game plans week in and week out. They've had some tough ball games in the Kansas City area, been able to win those games and come down here tonight with another great game plan, got their ball club ready to play, and just a dominating performance on both sides of the ball.
Second interception for Blue Springs tonight. Clock begins to roll with 10.5, under 10.5 to play. Whitworth will hand things off to Renald Sheldon, new tailback in for Blue Springs. A junior, 5'8", 150 pounds.
And they really like Sheldon. He's going to be a player next year. He's not real big, but real quick and real fast. He's had an opportunity to carry the ball a few times this year, but next year he's a guy that they're going to be looking forward to having a big year.
Loss of 4 on the play. Sheldon again. Pickup of 2 and a long third down coming up. Blue Springs got 18 in the first quarter, 21 in the second, 14 in the third, and still trying to get on the board the fourth quarter with just about 9 minutes to go. What a job of Kelly Donahoe. 69-12 overall, his career record. With a win tonight, he'll be 45-5 in 4 years as head coach at Blue Springs.
With 2 state championships. I mean, they've done a tremendous job out there. They've got a great program. But like I said earlier, the coaches, they make this program what it is.
Damon Durant, the carrier, only a sophomore.
Hey, Brett!
Now allowed to punt it away.
Tell Brett to let the clock run. Drew, left.
Still coaching, up by 53 points, and still coaching, giving instructions out there. And, you know, being up 53-0, first of all, I've never been up 53-0 in a ball game, so I don't know how you're supposed to act, but they're showing a lot of class by not trying to run the score up even more than what it is.
D. Peralta will punt it away. Clayton Davis along with A.J. Jimerson are back there. And it comes to Davis. Fields it at his own 31. And gets knocked out of bounds close to the 40. And the clock continues to run under 8 minutes to play. And we head to break. 53-zip. Blue Springs.
When love is all we need, all we need. Don't you find that ironical? When love is all we need, oh yeah. Oh.
PT Cruiser, Total Quality Award winner.
Hi, I'm Todd Taminia, your Independence Lincoln Mercury dealer. Our summer anniversary clearance was so successful, we sold out of 2003s. So now, we're going to keep the momentum going. Get a brand new 2004 Mercury Grand Marquis starting at only $18,988. Or my personal favorite, a 2004 Lincoln LS starting at only $27,988. We have over 400 new and used Lincoln Mercuries in stock. So come to Independence and I'll see you on the showroom floor.
Short of cash? Sooner or later it happens to all of us. American Payday Loans can help you through the rough times too. Whatever the reason, get cash fast at American Payday Loans. It's fast, friendly service, hassle-free, no third degree. They'll cash your personal check and hold it for 2 weeks before deposit. Bring your picture ID and latest bank statement. It's that easy. Remember, when you need a little help, American Payday Loans is there for you. American Payday Loans, where every day is payday.
Fox Sports Net.
College basketball tomorrow. This game 53-0. High school football. The Missouri Tigers kick off their regular season against Oakland. The Mid-Continent Conference, it's all right here. 5 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Number 5, Missouri. I'll be just outside the city of Detroit. Oakland University with the head coach, Norm Stewart, former head coach of the Tigers. And we'll be bringing you Tiger basketball tomorrow night. Here's a nice play for Jimerson, close to midfield for Hazelwood Central. 7.5 to play, down by 53 points. A pickup of 11 and a first down.
Jimerson's guy, like we said earlier, has had a great year. He's going to be back next year, hopefully, to do this all over again, but came into the ball game just under 1,200 yards on the season, 20 touchdowns, averaging about 7 yards a carry. So he's had a tremendous season for Hazelwood Central.
Under 7 minutes to play. 1st and 10 for Hazelwood Central, trying to get on the board. And there is Nick Patterson with the reception, but the ball is loose. Now they whistle that play dead or down on the ground or incomplete. Incomplete is the call, so to bring a 2nd down and 10.
They come back to the slant play that they had success to earlier in the quarter. They run into the opposite side. Good coverage out there. You can see Patterson never has control of that football. They call that incomplete. Joey Butler doing a good job driving on that slant route.
And a sack for Blue Springs, and in on the tackle was Brandon Schaaf, a 6'2" senior.
And they actually had Nick Patterson. They ran the slant and go, and he was wide open.
Yep.
He just didn't have time to throw the ball. Schaaf was in the backfield and sacking DeMolin, and that's just the kind of night they've had tonight. When they've had an opportunity to make a play, something breaks down one place. When, you know, something is just happened. It's just Murphy's Law for Hazelwood Central tonight, Dan.
You were right.
I don't know what else you can say.
He was wide open, and now the quarterback lines up in a slot. James Aldridge was the quarterback on that play. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage near midfield. Tonight's game is a production of Fox Sports Net with rights granted by the Missouri State High School Activities Association. This copyrighted broadcast is intended solely for the use of our viewing audience, and any rebroadcast or reproduction of this game without express written consent is strictly prohibited. 4th down and 9. And Central will punt it away. Austin Holt is back deep to receive. Holt will let that one bounce, and it bounces out at the 20 with under 5 minutes to play in the Show Me Showdown. Action doesn't stop tonight. Don't forget about tomorrow. At noon, Princeton and Marionville, Class 1. Then Class 3, it's Harrisonville against St. Genevieve at 3:15. And then Park Hill and Webster Groves, Class 5. State championship games roll on tomorrow here at the Dome. Clock continuing to roll. Just over 4 minutes to play. New quarterback in, Ryan Lamphere, the quarterback for Blue Springs. I'm sure Ryan was thinking, I'm not so sure I'm going to get into the state championship game when this thing first started, but here it is, 53-0. Handoff goes to Durant, a sophomore, and he's driven back close to the 10-yard line.
And Durant's probably another one thinking that there was no chance in the world he was going to get into the state championship ball game and get the football. Guess what? He's got the ball, and loses a lot of yards. This is good experience for these young guys. He's going to learn. He's just got to hit it up in there, but a young guy's going to try to run around and see if he can make a play, and just gets drilled by 4 or 5 Hazelwood Central guys.
Under 3.5 to play. Durant's thinking this isn't the B team.
It wasn't like this in practice.
No. Hand off again to Durant, trying to break a tackle. Almost did. And he's brought down. And it's a long 3rd down coming up for Blue Springs.
And you know what? You've got to give Central a lot of credit. Defensively, they've come out and they've played tough this entire second half. They got put in a lot of tough situations. Really ran into a buzzsaw tonight in Blue Springs offensively, but these guys are still out here. They're giving it everything they have, and they can really be proud of themselves for the year that they've had.
2.5 and rolling. 3rd down and 18. Ball on the 13. And it's the pitch to Sheldon. Woof.
That's the way to play hard. Sheldon, like I said earlier, speed guy, not real fast. I mean, not real big. He just runs outside, and then watch this hit that he takes right there. Oh my. That's Taylor Sr., and he's not real big himself. He's only 170 pounds, but that's the way you lay into a running back.
Under 2 minutes to play, and Blue Springs will punt it away. Aubrey Pearson along with Clayton Davis back deep to receive. Play clock is down to 10. Now if you're Blue Springs, you're thinking, why not get the shutout? They're up 53-0. The kick is away. A little line drive kick. And a loose football. And Hazelwood Central comes up with it as Pearson could not hold on. And then it was covered up by Matt Anders.
And for some reason, I'm not surprised that this ball is fumbled. What else can go wrong for Hazelwood Central? Pearson just trying to get the ball, takes his eyes off of it and fumbles it. And the only thing that really surprised me on that, Dan, is they recovered it.
Yep, that's the only thing that was positive. Well, it was all Blue Springs tonight. Brando going off with a sore ankle or sore knee. Hopefully he's going to be all right. 13th appearance for Blue Springs, 4th straight. 2 championships, one in '92, the other in 2001. Under 30 seconds to play, and this is going to be it. Central is going to take a knee. And that is going to be it. Blue Springs, under the guidance of one of the best coaches in the state of Missouri, Kelly Donahoe, is going to win it 53-0. And Blue Springs is your Class 6 Misha champions. Congratulations to Blue Springs. We'll wrap it up in a moment. Blue Springs is your state champion.
What do people see in the new Chrysler Pacifica?
I see a woman who knows how to relax.
I see a man who knows where he's going in the world.
I see a painter, a parent, an individual.
I see a mom and a dad who are completely behind their kids.
Introducing the Chrysler Pacifica, well beyond the SUV.
Because each year more than 300,000 young men and women in Missouri participate in interscholastic programs. Because we know that encouraging positive values and sportsmanship today will help create better citizens for tomorrow. Because we know that success in the classroom and on the field take commitment and dedication. We are the more than 700 member schools of Misha, and we know success is a team effort. Do your part to encourage respect at your school, because our students are our future.
Attention soccer fans, do you want to improve your soccer skills? Now's your chance to take your game to a whole new zone, the Soccer Zone. Our expert instructors demonstrate the drills that will increase your level of play. Passing, shooting, trapping, dribbling, and even goalkeeping. We bring the best talent in the country to your home. Current college players and former professional players demonstrate the techniques that will bring you success on the field. If you want to become a better soccer player, call the number on your screen right now. Learn how to be the best from the best. There's only one way to play, and if you act now, you'll learn the right way to play. It's all on one great video for one low price. It's a fun, new, and exciting way to improve your skills. Boys and girls trying to improve their skill level, coaches looking to energize practice sessions, or parents who simply want to know more about the game, this tape is for you. Call now, and we'll include our trick segment. Get in the zone, the Soccer Zone. Call now.
The 2003 Show Me Bowl on Fox Sports Net has been brought to you by Chrysler, who knows that students are our future. Your local Chrysler Dealers Association is a proud sponsor of the Misha Show Me Bowl. Congratulations to Blue Springs. They are your state champions for 2003, and they do it in convincing fashion.
From the first play of the game to the last play of the game, they just completely dominated in all phases, offense, defense, and special teams, and they deserve to be champions. They've had a great season.
Thanks for joining us on your home of the Show Me Bowl, Fox Sports Net. For Jim Hayes and J.C. Pearson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Congratulations to Blue Springs, your state champ.
Now on the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report.
They're the top two scoring offenses in the NFC. I'm Ann Carroll at Rams Park. The Vikes and Rams go head-to-head Sunday. A preview tonight.
The Blues battled the Lightning tonight in Tampa. Plus, we'll preview this weekend in college football. Mizzou tries to stay unbeaten at home, while the Salukis travel to Delaware for round one of the 1AA playoffs.
Good evening. This is your Midwest Sports Report, presented by Busch Light.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed the high school football with Pat Paris. I'm Brent Stover. It's the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report.
Yeah, we're going to preview Mizzou's finale against Iowa State coming up tomorrow in Columbia, and highlights from around the National Hockey League, including the Blues and Lightning and a thriller that goes into overtime.
Yeah, those stories and SLU Soccer Press for the third round against Washington. And we've got, of course, your Rams coverage. A big game for the Rams coming up on Sunday. They've got the Vikings, a 7-4 team, a team that started off 6-0 before sliding. They're playing pretty good right now. All those stories, but
we're going to get right back to the Dome. Our Jim Hayes is standing by with more on the Class 6 championship game you just saw here on Fox Sports Net. Jimmy?
A distracted Kelly Donahoe, head coach of the Blue Springs Wildcats. And, Coach, at the beginning of the season, you said you weren't sure what you got. It's been quite a ride for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, oh, yeah. You know, we weren't sure. We knew we had good, hard-working kids with a lot of heart and character. And, you know, it goes to show what you can do with the team that, you know, I know we looked really talented tonight, but really our talent level wasn't spectacular. We just had kids that played hard and believed in one another. And it goes to show you what can happen when you got a group of kids that care a lot for one another, they work hard, and you got a great coaching staff, and we do. Our assistants are tremendous, and it's just great for our kids, our community, our school. We're really, really proud right now.
Everything you touched worked tonight. I know Cameron Harms wasn't necessarily in the big playbook, but he ended up with 3 touchdowns. Everything worked.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Cameron Harms, believe it or not, it was a backup tailback for us. And, you know, we've had that motto all year. Whenever we've had people come in, they've stepped up and played, and we knew Cameron would play well. He's a great, tough little kid.
Coach, congratulations on a great season, a perfect season, and a great ending.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, Dan, let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Jim, good job, and thank you very much. 53-0, our final. Blue Springs, we knew they were good. We didn't know they were this good. They came in the top 25 in USA Today in the latest rankings, #1 in the state of Missouri. They showed why tonight, JC.
They sure did in all phases, offense, defense, special teams. Just a complete dominant performance by Blue Springs. They really deserved this championship.
And Jim touched upon this. Cameron Harms was really one of the big stories of this game. What a huge, huge game the tailback had.
And he wasn't their starter. He had to step in, fill the shoes of their injured or their suspended tailback, and he really stepped up big for them.
It started out the first play of the game, 70-plus yards for Cameron Harms, and he never looked back.
Never looked back, nor did his team ever look back from that point on.
Cameron Harms, that's the second of 3 touchdowns on the night. He would pick up one more, this one coming in the second half, and like we said before, all Blue Springs in a dominating performance.
Dominating performance. Cameron Harms, again, a great job filling in for Jarrett Morris. 2 long touchdowns, another 3rd touchdown that he added on, and this offense just completely dominated.
For the majority of this season, Blue Springs has not allowed many points at all, and that was the case this evening as they allow no points in the state championship game, and I'm sure they expected to have a good defensive game, but I'm